Hello and welcome to Epic Battlecry. This is the place where we cut through the crap to bring you the real deal on the gaming industry today. I'm your host, Tony Grice, and with me as always is Brent Adams and Daniel Kaiser, and it is Thursday, July 10th, 2014.
Thursday!
And
that's exactly what it is. It's Thursday.
Apparently the favorite day of a lot of people in this podcast, except me. I don't know if I have a favorite day, but okay.
I like Thursday a lot.
Apparently. But we do have a question. It comes from Iiro Lehtonen.
Good work.
And
What's his Twitter handle? At what?
At Mermelson.
Mermelson. It's a mermaid version of Nelson Mandela.
I'm almost positive that's not what it is, but okay.
Considering there's not even a Nelson in there. All right, but his question to us is, game companies are hiring a lot of Hollywood actors nowadays.
True.
How will the future look between Hollywood and the gaming industry? So, Brent, you want to kind of start us off there? What do you think?
I think it'll look a lot like it does right now.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's kind of how I feel, because...
All right, that's a good question.
All right, see you tomorrow on Epic Battlecry. No,
and it's Friday!
I feel like this is far less of a theoretical today in the game industry than it ever has been. I mean, we're at the point now where the game industry has reached they've reached a point where, in terms of artistic credibility, creatives are taking them seriously. Now there's plenty of other people out in the mainstream world, who don't take gaming all that seriously and kind of look down their nose at it. But creative people are looking at video games and recognizing them for the artistic outlet that they represent and the artistry of the people who are involved in creating video games. And so, having kind of reached that point, and the fact that the game industry is financially successful enough where they can start to bring in known talent, named actors to their projects, they can do so. And I feel like we've kind of already gone through the period where it was like, look, let's just have a celebrity in our video game, because that'll help us. That'll help us market the game. It'll make it more appealing if people recognize, hey, that's fucking Lieutenant Worf in Mass Effect, or whatever. I feel like we've already, and I'm not necessarily saying that Mass Effect is like an example of this phenomena, but I feel like we've kind of gone through the period where it's like, look, let's just have a celebrity voice to throw into the game for the sake of marketing. I feel like we've kind of gone through that, and we've reached a point where the game industry is like, look, there's a lot of really, really great talent, and there's named talent, people who have been doing voice acting for years and years and years, who have become legitimate stars, legitimate celebrities as a result of this. Nolan North, Troy Baker, I can't remember the lady's name that does FemShep. What's her name?
You put me on the spot.
God damn it. Well, that's the thing.
I've interviewed her like 5 times.
If you'd have asked me, I'd be able to remember it, but trying to think of it myself, I'm hopeless.
Jennifer Hale.
Jennifer Hale, thank you. So anyway, the point
what
is...
What the hell was I thinking? I couldn't remember.
The point is that, video games have not only created an outlet for established talent to come in and do something really compelling within a video game. I think one of the best examples of that would be Beyond Two Souls with Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page, but also for just people who are really talented actors to rise to prominence within gaming, like we were just talking about. And I feel that where the game industry is at right now is a really good place. It's a really good place where they're like, let's get the best talent for this. Whether that's somebody that you've heard of or somebody that's a superstar, or somebody you've never heard of, whatever it is, let's just get the best talent for the project, and they can attract that. Well, the only thing that I would add on to this is, I feel... one thing that I would like to see more of, I feel like the game industry would really benefit from bringing in the talent of established, talented writers into their project and allowing them the time to really help the process of writing video games. I feel that's one area where things are still a little rocky, and some people are like, okay, so here's our concept, here's our character, and you've got 1 week, write a video game. If that part of the process is rocky for some productions, but that's the one thing that I feel that, like, there's still a little bit of overlap between Hollywood and the game industry that could be beneficial if the game industry learns to respect writing talent and use it appropriately.
What do you think, DK?
I agree with pretty much everything you said, but the question specifically
Hang on, let me write this down. Today, Daniel agreed with
we all agreed on Monday though, so all the rules are out the window now.
In my death diary,
we're going to agree all.
Yes,
that's
under
right.
his black pillow.
Bucket list checked.
I agree, but the question specifically asks about the future, and for me, I think it will look a lot like it does now, in that you will see a high volume of Hollywood talent interacting with gaming industry. I think the gaming industry has proven itself. It doesn't need to prove itself anymore in terms of being a viable and creative medium. But where I do think that there will be some evolution is that it's no longer. So we were originally playing with the idea. What would it be like to have, Sir Patrick Stewart doing the voice in Oblivion? Like, that's great. That's awesome. And that's completely new just in and of itself. Now we're starting to see stuff where, Kevin Spacey's taking on a gigantic role in this Call of Duty game that is not only going to bring in the mainstream audience and kind of attract them, or at least make, pique their interest. But what I think is going to happen is that it's no longer enough just to have good or recognizable talent in your game. They're going to be, their success is now going to be gauged on their actual performance. Whereas, usually the conversation stops with Kevin Spacey's in our game, and that's it. Like, okay, that's it, you won, that's all anybody expected. But I feel like in the future, as it becomes more regular, that it'll now shift to well, was it a good performance? People will be critiquing actual performances
as opposed to just, ooh, look who they got.
Exactly.
I agree.
And so that I do see that.
But I think we're kind of doing that already to a degree.
Well, but the thing is,
but I think in the future it'll be more on par with Hollywood, in that you can say, hey, Brad Pitt was good in this movie, or he gave a disappointing performance in this movie. If Brad Pitt was in a video game today...
Come on, name a movie Brad Pitt gave a disappointing performance in. I dare you.
I'm
double dog dare you.
I look, hey, no offense against all the posters you have in your room. I'm just saying that I feel... Don't talk to Braddy that way. That'd be the pits. But anyway,
Jesus God, no, not really. Right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, people will actually start critiquing their performances and saying, did they give a good performance? Did it help the game? And critiquing it on a personal level. So there you go.
Yeah. To speak to what Brent was saying earlier, kind of speaking to the fact that, we may have already kind of gotten to this point to a certain degree. You are right that we are further along now than we have ever been in this connection, but really the growth potential is huge. We just, until it becomes synonymous where you don't even think about Brad Pitt being in a video game or being in a new movie, when they're literally there's to be honest, when it's not special, that's the thing, when it's not kind of out there that Kevin Spacey is a major piece of the next video game, because realistically would have been two of the biggest sort of celebrity connections this year. It's been Kevin Spacey in fucking Call of Duty, and I can't remember his name right now, the guy from Game of Thrones that did the voice acting for Destiny. And it's been a very kind of
can we really call that voice acting? I mean, wasn't that...
Well, but that's kind of to my point. Like, it really... I do think that there is still a bit of a stigma in against video games in terms of how they are perceived by the majority of people outside of those industries. I'm not saying that it won't be there. As a matter of fact, I think it absolutely will be there. But I think we've actually got a while to go. I think probably by the end of this next console generation, the one we're in right now, by the end of that, I think it will look extremely different than what it does now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't even know, though, even by then, I don't know that it'll be, I think there will still be a little bit of a stigma, even by that point, against like a classically trained Shakespearean actor potentially taking a role in video games. I think there'll still be a little bit of a stigma against that. But it's really just going to take time to where you get the people that are buying all this, entertainment, whether it be movies or games, being of the age where they always had video games. Until you get to that point where the older characters that are doing voice actors are old enough that they were playing games when they were a kid,
and they have no stigma.
There's always going to be a little bit of a stigma there.
And when you start seeing it on the box arts too, like Kevin Spacey in Call of Duty, or you start seeing like Ron Jeremy and The Last Hardian.
Man, don't even tease me. That would be awesome. To speak to that point, though, Brent, the conversation breaker, strikes again.
I don't want to know what posters you have of him in your room. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Don't judge me, Tony. The point that I was going to make is I agree with that, but I think that there's another aspect of this that is not solely about video games, but it has got to do with kind of Hollywood mentality. And it is breaking down right now and has been breaking down for a while, but that is the notion that a serious actor only does film. And television is for lesser people who don't quite have the talent to make it in the film industry,
or who are trying to reboot their career or give up.
Exactly, and never the twain shall meet. There is still a little bit of that cynicism within the industry, but then you've got people like Kevin Spacey, who is an amazing film actor, who is doing one of the most successful direct viewing television shows ever in House of Cards, and is also appearing in video games. Somebody who is really crossing mediums, but not every performer has that latitude to move seamlessly. And obviously he's also exceptionally well regarded in the theater for his stage work.
And I was going to say, you could even kind of throw stage work in there as well. There's some people that want to do plays that wouldn't consider TV, or would probably consider movies, but even a movie would have to be of a certain caliber. There's always going to be that stigma, and that was pretty much the argument I was making. Is just that it's definitely breaking down. You're absolutely right. I got to be honest, I still think we got probably another 5, 6, 7 years before.
I think that's fair.
And even then, I think you'll still have those people. I think really it'll be 10 years or further down the road before you really just start to see it be genuinely hey, such and such is doing the new video game this week, and nobody even bats an eye.
As
nobody
opposed
even
to
thinks twice
holy
about
shit,
it.
Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page are doing a fucking video game. You're right in the sense
there's
that
always that attachment of
it is news right now when that happens. Right. But when it's not, when nobody cares because it's commonplace, that's when we'll have reached that point.
Absolutely, and I think that'll happen. It's just we got a while.
It's just time.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that much time.
All right, guys. Well, so that was a great convo, and
which is short for conversation.
Yeah. We know. Thank you.
I know. Twitter, 140 characters.
Yeah, you got to keep it short. So anyway, make sure you give us some more feedback on on Twitter, and give us your questions, and we will be back tomorrow to wrap up this first week of our new format. So I'm kind of excited about that. Remember, cry havoc
and let us know what your hashtag means. Is it a mermaid Nelson Mandela, or is it a mermaid half Nelson?
Number one, it's not a hashtag. Number two, the word.
What did I say? Handle. It's a Twitter handle.
It's a Twitter handle. And number two, the word Nelson does not appear in that fucking name.
It says Melson. Maybe his dad's name is Mel.
And he's his son. Hear me now, son of coal. I fight for this world the same as you. That's my favorite gag in Thor. It goes almost nobody laughed at it in the theater, but that was the funniest fucking thing to me.
Which one?
Where he says to Coulson at the end, after he's regained his power, he says, "Hear me now, son of coal. I fight for this earth as well."
I love that.